Michelle Prince, founder and CEO of Performance Publishing Group, making a difference one story at a time. We'll be shining the light on successful founders, entrepreneurs, business owners, and leaders that are getting results and making a difference. We'll talk about how they built their businesses, are creating movements, and leveraging the power of authority in their own lives. Be sure to stick around to the end of the show, and we'll reveal how you can be our next guest. Let's get started. Hey everybody, this is Michelle Prince with the Power of Authority Spotlight. We're shining the light on awesome people who are making a difference. They're doing great things. They're leaders, they're business owners, they're entrepreneurs, you name it, but they're really leveraging the power of their story and making a difference in a big way. And my guest today, I'm super excited to introduce you to. I've had a chance to get to know her pretty well over the last few years. But first, this episode is brought to you by Performance Publishing Group. Performance Publishing Group provides top quality, comprehensive book publishing services for soon-to-be authors. The Performance Publishing team has helped thousands of people realize their dreams of becoming an author. Will you be next? As a partner publisher, Performance Publishing Group can offer you more than just expert guidance. They want to make sure you get the book of your dreams and reap the rewards. For more information, go to performancepublishinggroup.com. So I'm so excited to introduce you to not only an author that I know very well, but also a friend. Her name is Dianne Lee. And let me tell you a little bit about Dianne. At a tumultuous time, an industry insider finds a unique way to inspire and empower by utilizing her voice and platform to highlight the importance of diversity and inclusivity and contributions of minorities and women in a highly male-dominated industry. Dianne Lee is an 18-year plus construction industry veteran. In her book, Leveraging Stereotypes, she shares her journey to success and the challenges she had to face and overcome as an immigrant in America. In a raw and honest collection of real-life experiences, she shows us we shouldn't be limited by the color of our skin. In fact, we should capitalize on every opportunity to design a life that is limitless. She speaks to how she has leveraged adversity to create successful outcomes, and she is paying it forward in the construction industry. She is a certified business management expert, CBME, and a certified diversity, equity, and inclusion leader, CDEIL. Welcome to the show, Dianne.
Thank you so much, Michelle. I'm so happy to be here.
I'm so happy to have you. You have a special place in my heart. We met several years ago, and I think we met through a webinar, and we connected shortly after, and you told me that you had a story and that you wanted to tell your story. And so we went down the path and the journey of getting your book done, and it was such an awesome opportunity. But I want to know more about you, because you do so many different things. You're obviously very well-known and respected in the construction industry, as well as an advocate for women. So give us a little bit more of the backstory of what you do, and then we'll dive into the book.
Thank you so much for asking that question. I'm thrilled to be here to introduce myself. So in the last 20 years or so, I've been in the construction industry representing a firm that provides construction and project management services. And my area of expertise is in business development and execution strategy, which means just about anything and everything to advance the overall mission and goals for the company on behalf of the company. And then as I was doing that as a professional in the construction industry, I started to discover a platform for myself, and I started noticing where the gaps were for women, and in particular, minority women. And so I kind of combined my two passions, the construction industry and my ability and platform, to really highlight and showcase women in construction, their leadership skills, the value that they bring into a construction project, and so on and so forth. And so I've been able to combine the two, and here we are today.
That's so great. And your book is, it's such a good book. It's so well written. You share a lot of your stories of how you got started, and I really enjoyed it. But let's talk about it. So Leveraging Stereotypes. What was the intention when you first set out to write that book? What was the main goal that you wanted with that book?
So when I sat down and really started formulating my thoughts, I kind of felt like, you mentioned in 2020 was when I started authoring my book, and it was a very tumultuous time for a lot of Asian Americans. And I wanted to write a really positive book showcasing the contributions of Asian Americans in America. And I think too easily we forget, the contributions of different groups and different minorities. And I wanted to highlight everything that we've done and everything we continue to do in advance of the American economy.
And there's so much to talk about there. I mean, I remember it was in 2020, there was a lot happening, not even pandemic things, but just with the Asian Americans. But this isn't something new. This has been something that has been going on for a long time. Would you say, as far as being a bit of a minority or people maybe having those stereotypes?
Yes, and I think the confluence of a lot of different things that was going on in the world really, presented the systemic issues that exist. But again, I like to focus on the positive, and I felt the opportunity that there was an opportunity for me to really share my story, my personal journey as an Asian immigrant to America, and how I found my way in a highly male and Caucasian construction industry. But more importantly, how I'm paying it forward right now for all women, all minority women. You don't have to be Asian to enjoy my book. And thankfully for me, I've been receiving a lot of positive feedback from the industry in general, and also from women outside of the construction industry, which is very reassuring. And I'm so glad when I look back now, it's only been, not even quite 2 years. I'm constantly reminded that, my process and my willingness to share my story and my journey has really paid off for a lot of other people who have taken the time to read my book.
Mhm. Can you think of is there anybody or any comment that stands out to you the most, as far as anyone who's encountered you after reading the book or hearing you speak?
So many, just so many different things that have really resonated with me personally. But I will share going to an industry event with 600 plus people in a room. And I happened to be the MC of the event. And this young Filipino girl fought her way through a room of 600 people and tapped me on my shoulder and said, I read your book. And I'm always really humbled by those experiences because first of all, I never really expect anybody to read my book. And then she proceeds to, I know, and she proceeds to tell me that, and I not only read it once, I read it twice. And I think naturally for me, the first thing I do is I express my gratitude, because I'm so humbled by the fact that she took the time to read my book. But then I always follow on with the question, so what did you think? And her immediate statement to me was, now that I've read your book and now that I see you, I see me, and I see me making an impact in the construction industry. And immediately we both started tearing up.
Oh,
and I immediately embraced her and I hugged her. And I immediately told her, I said, I'm happy to sit down and have lunch with you. And 3 months later, I took the time and we sat down and we had a lovely lunch, and I got to really hear her journey and her story to America. And we really bonded on that, and how her parents really struggled to get her a college education and to get her to America. But she has since, graduated from the University of Southern California, and is now a professional engineer and works for an international general contracting firm. So I'm extremely proud of her. But it took her reading my book, to really have the courage to say, I see myself making an impact because I saw you.
I love that. Thank you for sharing that, because so many times, as an author, you think, yeah, but who am I? And nobody really, really cares about my story, or it's not that unique. But there is somebody always out there wanting to find somebody who's just like them, who's real, who's, authentic. And we're all looking for those people to be mentors to us. And so think about, Dianne, if you wouldn't have written the book,
Right.
And as much as we think it's about us writing a book and about what we want to share, sometimes you don't think about those individual people that Like her life is probably totally different now. She read your book twice, and you've given her hope that she can be where you are at some point in her life. That's
Right.
huge.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And I continue to be extremely surprised and shocked when I get those positive comments. And I will share that, in my research and in the formulation of my book, I did come across this very disturbing statistic that Asian women are the least likely to be promoted to an executive position. And so when you compound that with being an immigrant, and when you compound that with being an Asian female in a highly male dominated industry, I knew then that I had to speak up. I knew then that I had to set the tone that it is possible, and with the right mentorship and with the right fundamental tools to advance and to accelerate your professional career, it is possible. So, which is so odd because here we are in 2023, and I continue to be an anomaly in my industry. And that's something I work really hard to change every day.
Well, you're definitely doing it, and you're doing it not just through the book, but also through the speaking. Talk about that, because the show's called The Power of Authority Spotlight, and as an authority, as you know, probably it was a book that I wrote, and it's a play on words that you can't spell authority without author. But it's more than just writing a book. It's having the authority, building a platform so that people want to listen to what you have to say. And that can be done in so many different ways, including writing a book. But how else besides the book have you been getting that message out there?
So I think the book has been an acceleration of my platform, my personal brand, and what I stand for. And now that I've had my book, and more people are recommending my book to other people, not just within the construction industry, but also outside of this industry, a lot of doors have opened for me. I'm getting now a lot more invitations to be a keynote speaker, to be a part of a panel, to moderate a panel about diversity, equity, and inclusion issues. And I'm now seen more as an expert about inclusivity.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm just really embracing all of these different opportunities. I think my book has really allowed me to have a voice, a greater voice, I would say, on behalf of all women, but also to just really shed light on the different things that women bring to highly male-dominated industries, and that we deserve having positions as CEO and CFO, and that we shouldn't be judged just based on the color of our skin.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Or for any reason, but it is shocking in 2023 that is still a statistic, actually. Well, the whole DEI, I mean, the timing of your book obviously is very relevant, because there is thankfully such a focus on that in corporate America, and companies really trying to embrace getting better at doing that. What would you say to somebody who's listening, who maybe doesn't work for as much of a progressive company, or maybe they find themselves not, maybe they're just not feeling as free as you do with sharing how they're feeling and all of that stuff? What would you say to somebody like that who's listening?
So that's a great question. So I feel like if you are not being heard, or if you feel like the company that you currently represent is not the appropriate or the right place for one reason or another, that there are many different outlets. As an example, I recommend a lot of my mentees to join industry organizations and to be a part of that, because more and more now what we're seeing is this momentum and this willingness to have a focus on DEI issues across the board in all industry organizations. It could be tech, it could be social media, it could be construction industry, right? And I think we need to leverage, as women, we need to leverage this momentum. We need to dive in, we need to take that plunge and really immerse ourselves. So if you can't find it at your day job, there are so many other avenues to really be a part of.
Absolutely. Well, I love seeing you thriving and continuing to inspire people, but now in a bigger way, because you do have the book. And so how can people get a hold of you if they want to buy the book? They can get it on Amazon. for sure. It's called Leveraging Stereotypes, Dianne Lee, and that's Dianne, and then Lee, L-E-E. But on LinkedIn also, they can, if they wanted to reach out, connect with you, what's the best way to do that?
I'm pretty active on LinkedIn, and I try to post as many events and activities that I'm a part of, whether I'm speaking at a national level, whether I'm speaking at an industry-specific event. So I welcome everyone to follow me on LinkedIn. It's the best way to get to know me and all of the different things that I'm up to. But yes, I am available on Amazon. I also have a website, DianneLee88.com. It's like you, a play on the number 88. It's very inherent, being a Chinese Malaysian girl, to lean on the number 88, because it means the direct translation for the number 8 is luck. And so you'll see a lot of Asians embrace the number 8. And I'm, living through of that, and I happen to be one of those people.
Okay, I never knew that, Dianne. I knew your email address. I knew it. And 8 is my favorite number. And I never knew that it had a meaning in any way.
Yes.
I love it. Okay, well, I'm embracing that one too. Oh, you are awesome, Dianne. Thank you so much. For those of you listening, never underestimate the power of your story, whether or not you're talking about, stereotypes like Dianne, or maybe you're just trying to share something that you've been through personally, professionally. Somebody out there is going to benefit from it, but only if you tell it. So, Dianne, thank you for sharing your story with us. And I wish you all the best in everything.
Thank you so much, Michelle. Have a great day.
You too. All right, everybody, that's it for the Power of Authority Spotlight. Again, go find Dianne on LinkedIn and get her book, Leveraging Stereotypes, on Amazon and wherever books are sold online. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you next time. Thanks so much for listening to the Power of Authority Spotlight. If you are a successful founder, entrepreneur, business owner, or leader that's getting results and making a difference, and you'd like to be on this program, please visit performancepublishinggroup.com/podcast to apply. That's performancepublishinggroup.com/podcast. Also, if you got something out of this interview, please share this episode. Just do a quick screenshot with your phone and text it to a friend or post it on the socials. If you know someone that would be a great guest, tag them on social media to let them know about the show and include the hashtag #ThePowerOfAuthoritySpotlight. I love seeing your posts and guest suggestions. We are regularly putting out new episodes and content, so make sure you don't miss any episodes by subscribing. Your thumbs up, ratings, and reviews go a long way to help promote the show and mean a lot to me and my team. Want to know more? Go to our websites, performancepublishinggroup.com or michelleprince.com, and follow me on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. Thanks so much for listening, and we'll see you next time.